What's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here at MWZ, and I'm going to be doing a video for the new players out there joining us in Modern Warfare Zombies. Now, I know this is available on the Game Pass now. There's tons of new players joining, and I think there's just new people that decide they want to be a part of this game at different points throughout the seasons. So there's probably still just new people joining in general outside of the Game Pass. So what I want to do today is we have absolutely nothing. It's almost like a 0 to hero run we're going to be doing, except for I did bring the new SMG, the static HV, with me on this journey. And essentially, we're going to not only regear our character, but I'm going to take you guys through a progression style run with me to show you how I would go about doing things if I was a new player and I was trying to make my way into the high threat zone, get higher chances of earning that essence to pretty much just put myself in a good position. Now, based on where we are on the map, I think I'm going to go ahead and head into here. There are plenty of places you can loot around for things like backpacks and armor vests and just the things that you might need along your journey, but I don't personally usually go way out of my way to loot everything around the map. I just take a little bit of time to loot, and if I don't find anything that way, then I end up looking in other places or just getting them through rewards. So right there, as you can see, we got our 2-plater already, and we got a medium backpack. We're already in great shape. Now, one thing we absolutely need to get access to is going to be a self-revive, but the great news is, especially if you're playing solo, the very first contract you complete is going to give you that self-revive. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the closest one we have, which is going to be a bounty. Now, bounties aren't always going to be the easiest option, just to kind of based on the weapon that you choose. So if you are newer to the game, make sure you are choosing something a little bit more reliable. FJX Horus, this new SMG. You know, there's a wide variety, and I even have a top 5 weapons video over on my channel that you can check out if you're looking for a reliable weapon. But basically, as long as you have a reliable weapon, you should be setting yourself up to be able to at least complete a regular tier 1 bounty here, even if you aren't Pack-a-Punch level 1 or have any rarity tools. Now, of course, I wanted to come in with absolutely nothing. That way I can show you exactly how you can acquire the upgrades as you go. Now, of course, when it comes to the Pack-a-Punch, you're going to be able to go ahead and purchase those, or purchase Pack-a-Punch upgrades in general, just through Essence. That is not something you're going to be able to do with the Ether tools. There is a couple of ways you can go about getting those. You can do the Infested Strongholds, which maybe I'll make sure to do one of those at least throughout this run. Oh, this might be the bugged one. This might be the bugged one. I might not actually be able to fight this. And there's a reason I know it's bugged. Because it's actually the one that starts in tier 2. So if you can see here, I haven't done any damage to it. So probably what I'm going to do here is actually cancel this. If you get this one and you're off the rip, do not even bother doing it, because it's technically a tier 2 bounty, essentially, being that it spawns right there on the edge of the zone. Okay, so we're right next to another example I'd like to even do anyways. Don't tell me I just saw a convoy. I did see a convoy, but they're going to ignore me. Okay, so what we got here, and I need to be a little bit careful, is we have a ether nest. Now, this has an ability to give us an ammo mod, which will be great for our weapon. You just have to play it a little bit safe, jump in and out. You don't have a gas mask, you're going to have to play it a little bit safer, obviously. Now, the idea here is that we're going to shoot these spores. Try to shoot as many as you can, essentially, without actually having to go inside. That'll help you out quite a bit. And I do recommend bringing decoys. It's going to be one of the most important things you can have. Throw that decoy down. That should at least distract most of the zombies. Allow me to run in. Okay, and we got the rest of those out of the way. Still have a bunch of zombies somewhere because they definitely didn't disappear. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and check in here. Check everything when you're first getting into the game, because something that you need could be in there. Right here we got our 1 box. Boom. We were able to get a Shatter blast. A little bit of extra essence in here. And we're on our way. Alright, now we can go ahead and find us a suitable first contract. Okay, we can't be on this side of the map without stopping here, as it's going to have so many things that we could use. Tons of lockers. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this on the map as well. Look at that. We got our backup self-revive. I'm going to throw a Casimir in the bag, because Casimirs are so helpful. Go ahead and check more of these lockers. There's always a chance you get a 3-plater or even a large backpack out of these. But hey, even if we don't, there will be other ways that we will be able to acquire those throughout this run. So we definitely checked those lockers there. No luck. But if we didn't have a 2-plater or a medium, we would have probably been able to get one here. We are able to grab the gas mask, suiting ourselves up a little bit. Now we can go and grab ourselves our first contract. Okay, now we're actually grabbing our first bounty. This one should be in a spot where it's not going to be a buggy area, but we're going to clearly get a mangler that we will not be able to defeat without Pack-a-Punch level 1. Now, obviously getting Pack-a-Punch level 1 will greatly make any of these challenges significantly easier, but you are able to definitely complete them without having to be Pack-a-Punch level 1. Big hurdle is here, I would definitely recommend, especially for the newer players, to throw down the decoys, and you should be able to then at least shoot at your bounty freely. I'm going to continue doing that, shoot him in the head. The mangler, I did not want to get in the vehicle. The mangler is definitely one of the easier to take on without any question. Mostly because it does this flinch action where it kind of just moves really slow. We actually do have the ammo cache nearby too, which is really helpful. As you can see, I'm just moving out of the way of the zombies. You do want to make sure you don't pull them too far away from where they spawn, because then they will run back to their area and get their health back. So we'll just bring them back this way, dodging most of the zombies because they're going to disappear once I eliminate them anyway. Come on. And that should be the end. There we go. And now that this was our first contract, had we not found that self-revive, boom, would have got it there. And this is another reason I like to complete the contract first. Even if I have the essence, let's say you upgrade your containment level, which we're not really doing necessarily all the way up to 100 in this to be able to actually use the discounts. But you would have discounts on Pack-a-Punch level 1, and you would also start with a 5,000 or 2,500 essence based on your containment level. So, because we don't have either of those, we do not have the essence, but if you could Pack-a-Punch level 1, I would recommend, especially once you get used to the game, to wait until you do at least your first bounty in order to see if you get a Pack-a-Punch level 1 crystal. Then we're going to go ahead and use that here. Now we're Pack-a-Punch level 1. We don't have a rarity, but we're definitely in much better situation than we were now that our magazine is actually doubled, and we're going to output a bit more damage. Now, I'm going to point this out while I'm here. This is the bazaar area. Someone's already over here, so I'm going to expect they already looted it. And in and around all of these buildings here are going to be tons of cash registers, giving you tons of access to be able to get lots of extra essence. So if you spawn on this side, definitely go loot around here. If you don't have a specific weapon, or if you don't have any weapons at all, you can always use the loot caches around there to find yourself your first weapon. Being able to maybe even find one that is rarity already, making it a lot easier to make your way through your journey here. Okay, so now we have to get a rarity tool, right? Now, for me, I already have an idea of where these harvester orbs are, so I don't really have to look for them all that often. I just go to the locations nearby. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot this down. Looks like we have people nearby. Hopefully they don't want the harvester orb. And these can be found on the Warzone Hub or WZ Hub map. It's an interactive map that you guys can use to kind of limit or triangulate the locations of these harvester orbs. I do think it is missing some locations. You'll be able to find these in Tier 1, Tier 2, and in Tier 3, all around the map. And the better, or the higher the zone that you're in, the better the rarity opportunity is. This guy's trying to rob me for it. It's just a green tool. Luckily for me, I do need a green tool, so we're going to take that upgrade and move forward. If it was a blue tool, they probably would have robbed me, but hey. Okay. We got our green tool. That is an upgrade for us since we came in with absolutely nothing. And if you do get a green tool, I recommend using it, because if your weapon's not already green, you're just going to be losing out on damage. Yeah, so with the harvester orbs, they're going to be all around the map in the different zones, and they can present you with green tools, rare tools, epic tools, and even in a very rare occasion, there's going to be legendary tools also. If you're unfamiliar, this is the Pack 1 or Pack-a-Punch in the Tier 1 zone. You can only go to Pack-a-Punch level 1 in Tier 1. Let's go to Tier 2 if you'd like Pack-a-Punch level 2, and to Tier 3 if you want Pack-a-Punch level 3, just to clear any confusion for those of you that might be new. So now that we have Pack-a-Punch level 1, if we wanted Pack-a-Punch level 2, we'd have to obviously Pack-a-Punch in the Tier 2 zone. I do want to knock out a couple more contracts, though, to build up our essence, because we're going to need at least 10,000 for Pack-a-Punch level 2, and we obviously at this point don't have any perks yet. One thing I didn't check, okay, we're good. One thing I didn't check was if a warlord was over here. Now, at this point, this is our next bounty, right? Our first one, we had no Pack-a-Punch, no rarity. Well, now we're Pack-a-Punch level 1 and green. So we should have a significantly easier time taking on this mangler over here. which will then allow us to get a little bit more essence, another chance at some free upgrades, free rewards. And in this state, we still want a large backpack, we still want a 3-plater, and if everything goes as planned, we're going to still be able to get those by the end of this match too. Even though things are moving, what I would say, decently, but not too fast, we still have plenty of time for success. And look at this here, this guy's already down to half health. Now, not all zombies get eliminated when you complete the contract, but a good chunk of them do. If you need to, just throw your decoy. Free elemental pop, and if you needed a schematic, hey, look at that. You get a schematic even out of this one. Now, this is one of the few exceptions. I'm going to make a journey outside of the plan to get this Juggernog perk because it's going to help us so much. And I'm actually going to take a risk. I most of the time recommend trying to get at least enough to get Pack Punch level 2 before heading into the tier 2 zone. But I already know we have a weapon that is fairly suitable, and the only bounty that I can't really do without too many hurdles is going to be the Disciple. So if we don't get a Disciple, say we get a Mangler, there's a good chance we'll be able to do it even with what we have here. And you can also choose to take the risk, right? I'm only going to be doing this because it's going to give us a little bit more essence a little faster. And with Pack-a-Punch level 1 green, we actually do have a slight chance of being able to do it within a reasonable amount of time. Going into the tier 2 zone will also grant us a higher possibility of getting better rewards, which is exactly what we want, right? So you only want to stay in tier 1 long enough to be able to feel upgraded enough to be comfortable in the next zone. I have one decoy here, but we're going to really just try to avoid the zombies and just aim at this orb. Again, I know where these locations are, so I can find them a lot easier than you're going to for a while. Once you get the hang of the game, you understand what you're looking for, where you should be looking for them, you'll be able to find these significantly easier. Now, doing infested strongholds will yield you the same opportunity, or even in some cases considerable better opportunities to get rarity tools. However, you do have to go in, you'll have to deal with a lot more zombies, and you're going to have to clear out the sys in order to be able to find the success that you need. Oh, this thing's really trying to get out of here. Luckily, it's a tier 2 one, and it made it all the way back over to tier 1. I personally like just going for the harvester orbs if I can find them. And look at that, we got a blue tool. Perfect. And even in some cases, look at that. There was a blue weapon on the ground as well. So even if you maybe didn't get a blue tool, you could swap out your weapon if you wanted to have something with a better upgrade. All right, so now we have a blue pack 1. So now we're more than reasonable as far as damage is concerned to be able to survive here in tier 2, at least in my opinion. The only way you wouldn't is if you had a fairly, unreasonable weapon, or again, you're fighting a Disciple contract. So now what I'm going to do is head over to another contract that I think we can grab. We have a bounty over there. You could always choose to do a cargo delivery. That's pretty much the least active contract on the map. So let's say, for example, you don't have any perks, you're not really comfortable with the weapon, you don't want to do a bounty first to get your self-revive. You can always do a cargo delivery, which are going to be way more straightforward, which are these guys here, and you'll be able to get your self-revive off the rip. Once you have a self-revive, you shouldn't be as scared to go around and kind of push the limits of your skill. You should only ever be afraid of pushing the limits of your skill if you have absolutely no self-revive at all. And when you have a backup self, it's even less of a fear factor because you'll have that extra self-revive to get you through, even if you end up going down the one time. Okay, time for our first tier 2 bounty. Hopefully it's not a Disciple. That would be kind of lame. And honestly, how fast you move from tier 1 into tier 2 will be kind of determined based on a little bit of luck, because if you find enough of your contract close enough together, you don't have to travel all that far. You just have good RNG on your rewards. There's a possibility you'll be able to make it into tier 2 significantly faster than even I did in this run specifically. So now we know we have a Mimic as our contract. We're going to head over to it, and hopefully it won't be too big a deal here. Oh, perfect. We got the Coastline Mimic. This is actually one of my favorite to fight. Now, the most important perk to me is definitely going to be Jug, and I would recommend you guys get that one first as well. Outside of that, the next best thing, at least in my opinion, is absolutely going to be Deadshot Daiquiri, because it's going to help you double up your damage a bit, or at least increase your damage quite a bit, and allow you, if you're on controller at least, to spam ADS and be able to stay locked onto that critical spot. Now, as you can see here, we're not doing a ton of damage. We're only pack 1 with the rare tool. I only usually use 1 plate whenever I get hit by that orb. I just keep maintaining my distance, because the orb is going to hit you almost every single time, and it is going to do some damage. So if you do have plates in this scenario, plan is just wait till you get hit by the orb, plate up one more time, and obviously avoid the zombies at all costs. But as you can see, we are only pack 1 blue. We're not super strong, but hey, we're strong enough to get the job done, and that's what matters. Got another pack 1 crystal. Hey, if I was a new player, I might be holding on to that for a future run, which will save us a little bit of time at the beginning of our next match. Kind of the whole idea here. Now, I do want to point out you can absolutely go from building to building, looting significantly more than I am now, and it could greatly improve your odds of finding a 3-plater, finding perks, finding some of the other odds and ends, but they aren't guarantees. So for me, because they're not guarantees, I just look in stuff as I come across it. I don't really make it a point to go out of my way, loot each and every locker around the map in hopes of getting that way. There are plenty of ways that you can get or acquire some of these items. And so spending all of your time just looting isn't always going to be the best option. And sometimes you get some really good luck. You could complete a contract in the tier 2 zone and get a 3-plater or a large backpack. More than likely, you're going to get rewards like that in the tier 3 zone, but it's still a very good possibility that something like a contract will get you the rewards that you're after. All right, we got another Mangler. Lucky us. And this is actually fairly unlucky as far as the rewards. I normally get way more perks. I will say, though, the Pack-a-Punch was kind of a huge deal. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot ammo. Luckily, ammo is pretty close by. He's going to have to chase me over here, and then I'll have to come back. Oh, he's actually still... He's, like, not close at all to where he spawned, but hey, I'm going to fight him here. This will be perfect. And this gun specifically has a huge reserve, so that's a W. If I wanted to, I could throw that. Oh, look at that insta-kill. We're just going to fight everything. Reload. He's going to hit us with that. I'm trying to slide past. I don't know why I'm getting hit like that. And now we should be able to focus the headshots. Take him out a little bit quicker. Boom. We got another... I mean, come on. This game is just giving me pack 1 crystals. We need something. I mean, pack 1 crystals are cool and all, but it'd be helpful if we got something a little bit more useful. There's a turret circuit. I'm actually going to hold on to one of these just in case if we find a use for it. All right, I made it over here. We're going to go ahead and pack punch to level 2 because it's going to get us that much closer to pack punch level 3, which we now need 15k in order to acquire, unless for some reason one of the triangles is still available in the zone once I make my way over there. Like I said, you see lockers, make sure you open them. Pretty good odds of having 2-platers and medium backpacks, and we're going to do a cargo delivery for this one just because it'll be kind of quick and because I know it'll be one of those that you guys can knock out without really having to do a whole lot. The biggest fear you're going to have when going over to one of these locations maybe is a few zombies out front. You'll eliminate them. You'll make sure you line up with the side that has the logo on it so that way you're opening the right door. Then you'll go ahead and grab the vehicle. I usually open my map and see where it is. This is going to be the soccer field, so I already have a pretty good idea of how to get there. So what I need to do here, drive around this building. And it's going to be a little ways away. Why does it say 50 meters? It's a lot further than that. And we're going to drive down here. Once you get the hang of all the locations, it'll be way easier to path out which direction you want to go in order to have the safest route. This is by far one of the easiest contracts in the game. Absolutely is the easiest contract in the game. I personally just enjoy the bounties because as long as your weapon is strong enough, you can actually take them out pretty fast. In some cases, faster than you would make it over to the gas station, grab the cargo delivery, and take the delivery over to its location. The only difference is this one is a little bit more hands-off as you're not really firing at any zombies. You just have to make sure that the vehicle makes it there in one piece. Okay, we made it over to our destination. We've delivered the cargo. There's a few stragglers as there tends to be sometimes. Boom. And we got a tombstone. Not all that useful. Okay, well, we are pack 2 blue. What do we got now? 4,000 essence. I actually have another bounty here. I'm going to grab it. So now I'm getting to the point where I have 15 minutes left. We're probably not going to have the best run of all time where we're going to make it to tier 3 and do a bunch of stuff. But that's not really the point. Hopefully we'll be able to at least make it over there. But the idea is that at least once you get geared up, you're not going to really have as much that you need to accomplish, right? Like in this run, for the next run, I would already have a pack 1 crystal. Technically, you know what I mean? That's a huge jump start, and that's the whole idea of this mode, is you're going to try to find things. You're not going to want to use everything that you find in the moment because you're going to want to be thinking about that next match, you know? Especially if you're burning through, trying to regain after a crash, or just, you know, set up an operator in general because maybe the operator is new or a new one that you're using, as you have 3 of them available at the bare minimum. Okay, we know our dude's in here. Oh, there he is. And we, like, again, we're pack 2 rare. We don't have to worry too much. Just keep your distance. He's going to do his thing. Make sure you try to reload before you run out of ammo because it's a little bit faster. But for the most part, like, we don't have a lot of fear here. Boom, just like that. I mean, if you're Pack-a-Punch level 2 in rare, you're going to have more than you need, or at least you should have more than you need as far as damage output and stuff, to find success in the tier 2 zone. When it comes to the tier 3 zone, being Pack-a-Punch level 3 rare is going to be very, very weak, although it is very possible that you could find some success. So it just really kind of depends on your scenario, where you're finding yourself. But I would recommend at least being epic rarity if you're thinking about going into tier 3 solo, especially after the zombie numbers have been increased over time, since obviously the game originally launched. It's not quite the same. I need to go through this rift, and I'm going to make my way over to another bounty. I'm just trying to make as much happen as fast as I can. Oh, wow, there's one over there now. I want to go to the one that's further since I already planned on it. Well, we finally got our worst nightmare, so we'll see how this is going to go. We actually have another player randomly coming over here, so I don't know what that's going to lead to. Early enough, I'm going to let him leech off me. We do have elemental pop, which is kind of cool. But we do not do a ton of damage to this guy. Disciples, good old disciples. Okay, just trying to hit as many crits as we can. He usually tries to do his ability. Yep, I was gonna say right when I reload. Should be able to knock it out. Slowly but surely. This isn't doing too bad. A lot of it's the weapon. If you have the right weapon, you're not gonna be in a big problem with it. You're not gonna have a big problem with it as long as you have the right weapon at all. The biggest thing too is they move. Look at this guy. Like, he's up here on the stairs. I'm gonna have to go up the stairs, get our reward. If you were pack 1 green, I would not recommend doing a disciple until you get more familiar with the game. So in this case, we got a jug. So realistically, if I wanted to, I could throw down maybe brain rot, and I can hold jug, and I would have that for my next match. And I could start with, you know, Juggernog right off the rip, along with my pack 1 crystal. I came across another harvester orb. In tier 2, it's definitely worth shooting down if you have a rare, because you could get an epic rarity. Like for us right now, that would be insane. Epic rarity, pack 2 epic can actually, depending on the weapon, hold it down in the high threat zone, aka tier 3. So having an epic tool, even if you choose not to use it in your specific run, holding on to it. Like in this case, if I got an epic tool and I was somebody that didn't usually have access to them, oh, look at that. There's so many zombies. Gonna throw our decoy. I would actually hold on to it in this case, this late in the match. But for me, if I get one, I'm actually going to go ahead and use it for the sake of this run. Because if I was to get an epic tool, that means I'd have jug, an epic tool. It's a blue. So even still, you would have a rare tool for the next match, right? If I was going to hold on to that for the next match, I would then have pack 1, blue, and jug. And I would already have a 2-plater and a medium backpack. And I would say our luck in this match has not been super good. So that does say a lot. Also, something to mention that is on the Warzone hub map, or WZ hub map as well, is going to be these. These are going to be your hidden caches. They are around the map. They do have a pretty decent chance of yielding you a large backpack or even a 3-plater. So if you do want another chance or more chances of finding those items earlier on in your run, you can definitely look up the map and find those locations. They will help you. I'm going to go ahead and grab another bounty here. We almost have enough for Pack-a-Punch level 3, but we are running pretty low on time. Now the good news is there is a final exfil if I really wanted to go to it. And the storm is way down here, meaning I have plenty of time before it actually hits the area that we're headed in. The negative is we got another disciple. W. Okay, here we go. Another disciple. Okay, break the leeching ability. Don't get hit by hellhounds. Luckily, the weapon we're using, like I said, is fairly good. It does help quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff chasing me here, so that could be kind of fun. Most of it will disappear when you get rid of the bounty, so only fight as much stuff as you have to. Otherwise, you'll end up fighting stuff all day. In this case, I have a mangler I'm going to try to avoid. And you might not be able to avoid them all. With the weapon that I'm using, I'm able to kind of move a little faster. Okay, go ahead and reload again. If I had my decoys, it would help a ton. I don't even have enough for energy mine right now, so there's also that. Gotta watch out for the mercs. Those guys will be a pain. Mangler's still trying. Gotta reload again. Luckily, this thing has a huge ammo capacity. But otherwise, I'd have to fight way more zombies. And I'm not trying to do that. Would be nice, though, if this dude stopped trying to avoid me, right? Okay, we're going to reload again. And we have a merc shooting us in the back somewhere, and we're good. Everybody should go down. We have plates. Dude somewhere way over there. I don't know why they make... It's like he really wants to fight. But he's not going to peek. So we got speed cola, which is something we needed, and another tombstone. So it really comes down to RNG in a lot of cases when it comes to the perks that you get, obviously. In this case, we didn't really get a lot of the perks we needed gifted. Otherwise, we'd be in a much better state than we are in now. Okay, I'm actually finally running over to grab Pack-a-Punch level 3. Now, normally, I'm going to go ahead and point this out. In this circumstance, I would not run through the middle of this zone because I don't have stamina, but we are in good position because I do have 2 backup selves, so I want to point that out. So if I go down, I can go down 3 times before I really have to be worried about going down another time. So I could run past. You're going to be really slow, even with stamina. You're not going to be able to do a ton of damage to these guys with your Pack 2 weapon, unless you have epic rarity or higher. Like, look at that. Nothing crazy there. So for me, I'm going to grab this, then I'm going to jump up here, and I'm going to jump off the side here, and I'm going to actually do something very specific to see if we can't yield us some good results here. But now we're Pack-a-Punch level 3, or at least rare rarity. If I had epic, I could consider going into tier 3. But I think if you're a new player learning, you don't necessarily have to do so. You could be overpowered and comfortable in the tier 2 zone, and Pack-a-Punch level 3 rare is definitely going to do that. I mean, at this point, or up to this point, you've seen me using the rare Pack 2, and we've been able to find some pretty decent success along this journey so far. But now we have a few minutes left until the gas starts expanding, and I have a pretty decent strategy for getting tier 3, or not tier 3, Pack, not even Pack 3, what am I talking about? A large backpack and a 3-plater. So I only have the 2 plates that I have on my guy. Hopefully we yield a little bit extra. The one thing I can say for sure is it's great to have thermites for this specific thing we're about to do here. But we're going to go ahead and get this Mega Bomb's attention. Now we should have enough. Oh, look at that. I'm actually going to go ahead. Normally I wouldn't do this. Don't do this if you need it, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the Pack-a-Punch level 1 down. Why did so many zombies spawn on me? Okay. And I have Shatter Blast, which is going to help me a bit. And I kind of have more experience doing this, so that's also going to help me. So as soon as he lasers, since I don't have plates, boom. Oh, look, a random showed up. This will also happen a lot. I don't know why the random just decided to come over here, but usually when I fight Mega Bombs, randoms decide they want to play. So now, go ahead and shoot this here. Hopefully I can keep it in the spot, because I can stand in between the lasers, right here in this exact spot. I can fight it. Okay, nice. I'm actually going to throw this down just in case. This guy's messing my thing up. Yo, random, go away. No, random. Hey. These people come out of nowhere, bro. I'm telling you. There's nobody over here. Hey, buddy. You're messing up my whole flow here. No, I didn't want to do that. Alright, he's messing up my whole flow. Alright, I'm going to throw this in there. And hopefully it blows up. I don't know why it didn't. Normally you throw the thermite in there, it does damage. Okay, I should be able to get back up here. No, the dude keeps doing that. Bro, you're messing up the whole flow. Get out of here. This is the thing you can't stand. You can't play by yourself. Dude, he wants the stuff out of it. Come on. Alright, W. I got the large backpack and the 3-plater out of that. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with that for too much. So I was able to get the stuff I needed out of that. I had to make sure he didn't steal it, but hey, it worked out. He's just gonna stand there. Alright, now normally people don't come over and help you every single time, but if they do, and you were there first, you just sometimes have to battle them for the loot, which I made sure to do there. But he definitely messed up the flow. If he wasn't here, I could have stood up right here in this spot. And if another one spawns in, I'll be able to show you. but you could have just stood right here and fought it the entire time. The only thing you have to really worry about is your plate situation. I highly recommend coming over here with more plates than I have. I've just dealt with the scenario so many times that I'm a lot less worried about it than you probably would be. I don't think another one will spawn in, though, just because of the fact that the gas is already expanding, but I will wait and see for sure, just in case. But otherwise, I mean, we were able to get Pack-a-Punch level 3. I was able to get the 3-plater. I mean, we got really good luck with the 3-plater large backpack. Realistically, I would have just made my way over here. If I'd have gotten a purple tool, we could have done a Pack 2 purple and been in the exact same scenario here. I even have a napalm burst. Not a napalm. Yeah, right here. Napalm burst, which is great against the Mega Abominations that I could have even used to further help myself with this specific part. Now, the negative is Pack 3 with a rare tool is pretty hard to challenge some of the tier 3 bounties. So more than likely, you're not going to find a lot of success there. I mean, it's even going to be hard against these guys. Like, stuff spawning behind me. Did I switch something out? Okay. They're just going to keep spawning in. Not giving me any ammo, though. Okay, I did get some ammo. Disciple, relax. Wish I would have grabbed that insta-kill. Come on. No. Oh, I got it. All I had to do was energy mine it. Okay, well, it doesn't look like another one's going to spawn in. So it wasn't the best way for me to actually show you how to fight the Mega Bomb in that spot. But if you do want to know, I have a video on my channel on how to farm the Mega Bombs over here. And you can use the exact same method I use in that video for farming your Mega Abominations. But they are a great use. You can even get the epic tools out of them if you're lucky enough. Just kind of depends. Once the storm starts expanding, they kind of just stop spawning in. For the most part, every once in a while, I'll still get one to spawn, but we're probably not going to get one in this specific match. Now, you can always choose to hang out through the rest of the match if you would like. The main goal here, though, has been fulfilled. We have everything that we need. We have a large backpack. We actually have some things that we could have used in another match, even though I did drop some of those items. You could continue looting for the rest of the match if you would like. I mean, if I'd have gotten another Mega Abomination, we'd have fought that, had another chance at a even higher rarity of the weapon that we have now. And of course, you're always welcome to buy wall buys if you would like. But again, you don't have control over the attachments on them. Like there's a legendary wall buy right there, and you would have a legendary weapon in that case. But for me, this is the way that I would choose to go about it if I was a new player. It allows you to get better familiarized with the zones and also how to go about getting the loot when you don't have any, because you're not going to be able to have everything each and every time. More than likely, you don't have all of your schematics unlocked, and even when you do, there is cooldown periods. And so you're going to want to make sure that you know how to exactly set yourself up for success, even if you're starting with absolutely nothing. So in this run, we came in with a brand new operator. We had a small backpack. We had just a regular old weapon, no rarity tools, nothing to help us on this journey. And we were able to get Pack-a-Punch level 3. We were able to even get some perks for free. Even though I didn't get most of the perks that I would have wanted, we did get the 3-plater, the large backpack. I have a streak. And again, like I said, throughout this journey, we even got some stuff we could use in a future match. We would have had a napalm burst, a rare tool, a juggernog. We'd have had the Pack-a-Punch level 1, and that would have boosted us in the next match in the future. So this is the best way to play or go about playing, in my opinion, if you're new to the game, trying to understand where you get all of the things that you need, trying to unlock your schematics, and basically from moving into the different zones, you'll also be able to complete the contracts, giving you opportunities to get those schematics that you need, as a lot of the schematics that you unlock are from doing tier 1 contracts, tier 2 contracts, and even tier 3. But my biggest recommendation is, alongside doing this to get access to higher rarities and upgrades and things like that, I would absolutely make sure you are knocking out all your act missions, so that way you get more familiar with the game and also unlock the schematics that you get through the story acts as well. Once you get through the story acts, then you can focus on the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 contracts, and you can even move on to the Dark Ether to unlock your classified schematics after all of that. But essentially, I just wanted to take you guys through a run here on how you could basically start with nothing but a weapon, find yourself upgrades, what things you could go and look for. You could loot way more than I did in this. My recommendation for the tools, though, is always to shoot the harvester orbs whenever you see them. You can more than likely even take advantage of the infested strongholds, but they're going to be a lot more dangerous for somebody that maybe comes in with a 1-plater and a small backpack, and even without a self. So I try to avoid those, as those can actually lead to your death. But I'm just going to head over to the exfil here. Technically, I feel like I came in and I did everything I set out to do. We had a little bit of an interruption with the Mega Abomination, which didn't allow me to showcase it the way I would want to, but at least the Mega Abomination did not only drop the 3-plater, but the large backpack as well. Okay, I made it over to the exfil here. Basically, I wanted to do somewhat of a 0 to hero run to help you new players kind of get familiar with the game and understand how you can kind of upgrade your weapon, set yourself up for success for the next zone, and essentially pretty much move through the zones consistently. And you can do that in each and every match. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all support the channel, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.